Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, you know it does not work without you guys. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up those football gods. Wake up here this morning, guys. Wake up. How's everybody doing? As Philly 500 would say this morning. It is finally freaking Friday. Thank God the weekend is here. Just a few more days and we'll have football. Well, we'll have the New York Stinking Giants playing on Sunday, so we'll see that. Of course, we'll see the Eagles as well on Sunday. Then we'll see, of course, the Washington football team on Monday, and then we'll be bringing up the rear on Tuesday, a rare Tuesday evening game. So we've got actually 3 days of football that all basically counts for our division and our season. It's going to be interesting because we all have rough games. I mean, we are all playing teams that have playoff aspirations and stuff, and it'll be interesting to see how we all do. And with just a little bit over a month left to go the season, we're going to take a look a little bit ahead because here's the reality. Here's the reality. Last night, my fireside chat, I talked about, the NFC East, and basically we're all wannabes. We all want to be a good team and stuff, and one of our teams will end up winning the division, which will make it harder for them the following year. Let's be honest here. The winner of our division is going to have that first place schedule. Let's call a spade. None of our teams right now, or probably next year, will be ready for prime time and to be that first place team, but one of us is going to be. And that team is also going to have a harder time filling the roster with premier players because, you go from being a top 10 pick, or currently as the Cowboys sit fourth, the Eagles sit sixth. Now, just because we all play each other down the stretch, somebody's going to get some wins, so somebody are going to move up a little higher. Some may stay where they are, but in all essence, more than likely, 3 of the teams from the NFC East will be top 10 picks. The other one will be picking around, they will be picking 19th. And we all have a lot of things that we have to take care of our teams if we're going to be able to compete with the Green Bays, the New Orleans, the Seattles, and things. And I just want to actually talk this morning about which teams may be in better position to reload their roster and get into, next year being a better year. 2020, we all just want to forget about. Let's be honest. We just want to forget about 2020. It has literally been that bad. So, Bleacher Report has, of course, a lot of great articles and stuff and things, and a lot of them are really, they're great for just conversation more than anything else, because football is one of those things that you can't predict. Nobody knows, honestly, what's going to happen as far as the draft goes. You can do the mock drafts, like 50 or 60 of them, and I guess if you do enough of them, you can say, well, see, I told you such and such was going to go, second. Yeah, well, you also said 50 other guys were going to go second too. So is there really credibility there? But regardless, we're not going to get into the draft right now. What we're going to actually look at is teams' needs, according to this article, and cap space, the ability to be able to do something about it. So this article, again, it starts out with, of course, all the teams in alphabetical orders. We start with, of course, first up in the alphabet for our division would be the Dallas Cowboys. And here's what they put in here. Projected cap space, $33.8 million. That's what we're looking at starting the offseason with. And that's before you do any finagling of the roster. If you decide to cut some people, you may have some dead money. Of course, you'll have some cap savings and things like that, and keep in mind that we do have to, well, we guess we don't have to, but you're going to need to sign Dak Prescott at some point as well. So there's that, which will eat up a good portion of that. So we're looking at $33 million. Now, according to them, they look at our biggest needs are defensive linemen, linebacker, and quarterback. And I could definitely agree. It'd be hard to disagree with that because we've always focused in more on our offense than anything else. We drafted offensive linemen with #1 picks. We've always gone for the receivers with high picks, and of course the running backs and things like that. We've been focusing on our offense for so long, and we've had good offenses, but we've never had a defense that you look at can say, when you need the ball, we're going to go get it. When you say that you need a stop, that you can definitely stop. In fact, we've been eaten up on in the running game. So I'm not going to dispute this at all, and I agree 100%. I would also put into this, though, you're going to need to get the replacement for Tyron Smith as well. You want to get another really good offensive lineman. As we've seen, not having that line, really hurts the team. So that's where we are with the Cowboys. And, of course, all this is predicated on the Cowboys re-signing Dak Prescott. And as I look around, a lot of people will say, go for Trevor Lawrence. Well, Trevor Lawrence will be #1. Unless the Jets get told that he does not want to play for them. It'll be a sign and trade or draft and trade or something like that. He still would be gone before the Cowboys have a chance. And I think the Cowboys are going to win at least one more game. We play Cincinnati at least. So that'll probably get you 4 wins. That might move you back out a little bit further on the draft. I don't think you're going to be in a position to get the top 2 quarterbacks, and nor do I believe that you should go for one of those guys. I think when you think about last year, everybody was like, tank for Tua, tank for Tua. Yeah, okay. Or when you think about Joe Burrow, the problem with getting Joe Burrow is they didn't have an offensive line. They didn't focus on that guy. So you got a really good quarterback, but you got him hurt because he didn't have an offensive line. And it's going to take time to get that together, and you might end up ruining the guy's career before he ever has a chance to get started. So for me, if you're the Cowboys, you don't have to use any draft capital, only cash to take care of Dak, which means you can use that pick, that number 4 or 5, whatever it's going to be, pick, and get yourself a playmaker, a generational type player, be it an offensive tackle or to be it, a beast defensive lineman. You can get a guy that can literally help make that team that much better. Think about what Chase Young has done for the Washington football team. And that's the kind of impact that you're talking about being able to add and putting Dak Prescott in there both. If you were able to get Justin Fields and things like that, you're just getting Justin Fields and you're not able to get that offensive lineman that may end up being the difference maker or that guy on the defense that gets that ball more for the quarterback. But that's just my thought. I know a lot of people just say that Dak isn't the one, but I pointed out that Peyton Manning for his first 9 years was 3-6 in the playoffs and had 15 touchdowns and I want to say 11 interceptions. And if he was the Cowboys quarterback, most of you guys would have said, get rid of him, he's a bum. But yet, he's about to go into the Hall of Fame. All right, let's go way, way, way down here to the New York Giants. This is a long article, of course. New England. Oh, this one's kind of interesting because I want to stop here at New Orleans for just a second. Their projected cap space is minus $95 million. Minus $95 million. And they're going to need a quarterback, a running back, and a tight end. Ouch. Talk about being a broke ass. New York Giants. Okay. Projected cap space. They'll have $18.5 million. They think that they need a running back, although you're getting Barkley back. Do you really? Do you really need a running back? Okay. Edge rusher and cornerback. Okay, it's hard to disagree with that. The Giants could have a tough decision to make a quarterback this offseason. Daniel Jones, who's dealing with a hamstring strain, has shown potential and has become a high-level starter. If the Giants claim the NFC East, they're likely stuck with him for another season. So, Giant fans, do you feel like being stuck with him for another season is okay, or do you think that's a bad thing? If they revert to their losing ways and end up with the highest draft selection, however, they may move on from Jones in favor of a young signal caller. For now, we'll assume that Jones will be back and examine more immediate needs. One which may immediately jump out is at running back. The Giants should have a healthy Barkley at the start of the 21 season, but should be eager to keep him healthy for a full 16-game slate. Bringing in a quality backup should be a high priority. Okay. New York may also lose defensive end Leonard Williams, who is leading the team with 6 sacks while playing on the franchise tag. No other player on the roster has more than 3 sacks. Ouch. Okay. So, yeah, they do have a lot of work to do. The Jets, of course, have $82 million, so talk about being totally different than New Orleans. The Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. I want you to take a look. Take a good look, Eagles fans. Take a really good look. In fact, let me make sure you can see this. You see that? Projected cap space. Projected cap space. Minus $64 million. Ouch. Ouch. You are over the cap by $64 million, depending on exactly how the cap falls. We don't know if it's going to drop to that 175 or not, or if it ends up being stagnant from where it was last year. But for the sake of argument, $64 million. Offensive tackle, wide receiver, linebacker. You know the funny thing about wide receiver? 2 years ago, the Eagles drafted J.J. Whiteside. I think he's got about 216 yards in receiving in 2 years. The next player drafted was DK Metcalf. Ouch. Then, this past year, after the Cowboys, we took CeeDee Lamb. The Eagles took Rhaegar. It's kind of funny because you know who was drafted right after that? That guy, Justin Jefferson, who's ass, as Philly 500 says. He's ass. I don't want Justin Jefferson. He's ass. Well, apparently, the Philadelphia Eagle organization kind of listened to you on that one because they got Rhaegar. You missed out on a game-changing wide receiver 2 years in a row. Ouch. So, the Eagles, they got some problems. $64 million over the cap, which means you're going to have to restructure or get rid of some guys. You need offensive tackle, wide receiver, and linebacker. And dare I say, you might need a quarterback too. For the Philadelphia Eagle fans, quarterback may be the top of the 2021 list. However, that's probably not going to happen. The Eagles are financially tied to Carson Wentz for at least another year. He's still more than $24 million in dead money on his contract after 2021. He's 52 if you decide to move on from him next year of dead money. Given that Philadelphia just used a second-round pick on a quarterback, Jalen Hurts, it's unlikely it will commit more capital to position in the offseason. So you're not getting another one. So just putting that out there. We're going to go down one more time to the Washington football team. Oops. Washington football team, which looks like they're keeping that name. As far as money goes, the Washington football team is actually best positioned because they've got $50.5 million in cash. That's great. They got plenty of cap space. Definitely need a quarterback, wide receiver, and offensive lineman. I dare say that Washington has actually found a really good running back. Their defensive line has become a beast. Their defense is truly up and coming. And I dare say that they may end up having the best coaching staff actually in the NFC East. And I fear the Washington football team probably going forward, definitely more than the Eagles and definitely more than the Giants, and feel like that they actually are one of the ones that could actually end up being really, really good next year and going forward. Now, the thing about it really, if you're a Washington team, I know you Washington cockroaches out there are happy as could be because, you beat us twice. Congratulations. You beat us. I can't take that away from you. But in all reality, you still need some more players. If you could get a boatload of players in the draft, and I'm talking quality players, you could really end up being a good team next year. if you were by chance to win the division, I think that's going to hamstring you a little bit more where you're not going to be able to get one of those top players. Because keep in mind, here's the thing with the draft. You think about having that top 5 pick. Well, understand that that top 5 pick goes through on each of the rounds. So that means if you're picking, first in the first round, that means you're picking first in the second round. And that is almost like a first round pick. That means in the third round, the third round, you're picking first in the third round, which is almost like a second round pick. So you're looking at being able to really get some young talent. And ultimately, when you build a team, you want to get a group of guys and get them around the same age so that way they can grow and learn together in a system and really become a juggernaut. And you have a window for a few years to continue to win. So, the one thing I will say, like I said, I think Washington has the biggest chances of really stepping forward with that extra money if they can finally learn how to use it wisely. Stop with the Josh Normans and the Collins and stuff like that, where you pay a boatload of money and it doesn't really pan out. But if they can start getting value in free agency and have a really good draft, look out for Washington next year. For the Cowboys, if we are a top 5 drafting class with the bringing back Dak Prescott, that truly changes the offense. If the Cowboys can take these young guys that we have, this core of guys, the Randy Gregory's, the Gillimore, the Antoine Woods, and you get a Tristan Hill back. You go ahead and maybe hold on to Aldon Smith and D-Law, who's coming along. You've got a really good front four. If you could add another big piece to go in that middle, all of a sudden that defense is a lot better. You need to add that linebacker. You need to add a safety. My God, we need to add a safety and another really good cornerback. If you can do that and turn that defense around and putting Dak Prescott with another offensive lineman, the Dallas Cowboys could be a really, really good team next year. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that piece right there and a look around the NFC East and who has the most to gain by going to the playoffs? Nobody. None of these teams. Yeah, you'll be able to have bragging rights for this year to say, we won the division, but, none of our teams are going to Super Bowl. And in the end, that's what it's all about. At this point, you got to say, this is an opportunity for us to get better for next year, to start building this roster and taking it as a mulligan. And, we can try some different things. We can look at some different people, and really start coming up with the game plan for next year. Find out what places you really and truly need to go ahead and invest all that draft capital you have. All right, y'all. I appreciate, as always, you guys being here. I was trying something a little bit different here this morning using the Mevo app, which actually allows me to use multiple cameras and things in here. And I'll see how it actually works, see if it worked out okay. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you soon.